I'm Christine. Welcome to Book Talk. Today we're discussing P.S. I Love You by Jenny Han. Wait, no. P.S. I Still Love You by Jenny Han. If you don't know, this is the second book in Jenny Han's, I believe, duology that started with To All the Boys I Loved Before. These are two of the most adorable, fun, heartwarming contemporaries I've ever read. I love them so much. The first one was fabulous. I have a book talk about it. This girl, when she has a crush on a boy, she writes them a love letter, seals it up, puts it in a box under her bed. And then one day the letters get sent out and the boys get the letters and, you know, things happen. Feels get stirred up. Embarrassment happens. It's wonderful. So I just read and finished the second book, P.S. I Still Love You. I loved it just as much as I loved the first one. I love Jenny Han's writing. I've said this once and I'll say it again. Reading these books are like eating cotton candy and floating on a bed of clouds in the sky. I just gobbled it up like it was the most delicious thing I've ever read. You know, it's about family and high school and boys and just figuring all that out. It's so easy to relate to. It's so easy to love. I definitely give this book 5 out of 5 stars. I have to read Jenny Han's other series, The Summer I Turned Pretty. I feel really fancy right now with the pearls. I feel like I could be the president's daughter or something. I was just trying to be like Lara Jean. Lara Jean is sophisticated. If you haven't read the first book, I'm gonna recommend you leave now. And if you want more details about that book, you can go watch my book talk about it, or you can just go read it because you don't need more details. Just read it. Just read it and love it and hug it and enjoy it and it'll be wonderful. If you have read the other book, you could stay now. I'm gonna spoil the first book a little bit if you stay. So bye non-first bookers. Okay, so P.S. I Still Love You. We start right where we left off in book 1. It's like when you read contemporary books, usually they end as soon as the couple just gets together and you never get to see them be together. And in this book, we do, and it's just a dream come true, you know? You want to read the love story after they get together. What's the point of them getting together if we don't get to see if they work or not? That's all I really want to say to you if you haven't read this book yet, because I don't want to spoil any of the fun. You gotta go read it. It's so much fun. I don't think she needs it, but I wouldn't mind if Jenny Han was like, you know what, I'm gonna add a third book to that All the Boys I Loved Before series. Like, I don't care. I'll read it. I'll love it. Unless there's some sort of travesty where everyone dies in it. Then I won't love it. I guess that's it for my non-spoiler section. I'm gonna talk about the book in spoiler detail now. So if you haven't read it, go read it and then come back and we can talk about it together. We can gush and gush and gush. Bye non-spoilery people! So the book starts out where we left off, where there's this rift between Lara Jean and Peter because she's upset that everyone thinks that they had sex. She goes over to his house with this letter. You know, I was really nervous that the letter wasn't gonna get to him and it's gonna be this frustrating thing where the couple doesn't get together and we just have to wait for it to happen again in this book. But I love that she didn't give it to him, but he saw it in her pocket. So we weren't gonna go down that road. Thank you. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you for not doing that to us. I am done with that bullshit. Second book syndrome with our couples? No. And they immediately became a couple and they wrote that new contract and it was so cute. But then of course we have the hot tub video scandal, which was just so much fun. And it was so funny that she's watching the video at first. Kitty goes, are they having sex? And Lara goes, it's hard to tell, you know. She's wearing that nightgown and you can't really see. 30 seconds later, thank God Margot was there when that happened. I really loved having Margot around and seeing the relationship that the three sisters have together. It warms my heart. Throughout the entire story, we have this thing with Genevieve, and reason why at the end of this book I questioned if we'd have a third book is that things with Genevieve were never resolved. I wanted to see them work out their friendship again and work through their differences. That has been an overlying story arc throughout both of these books. She was best friends with Genevieve and she thought she'd be friends with her forever, and something happened and ruined that. And we find out that it was because she kissed Peter in the basement that one time in 7th grade and she saw them together. You know, that's so middle school. You know, it's a trigger, but it's something that Genevieve should have forgiven or confronted her about a long time ago. When Lara Jean apologizes, Genevieve just says, in your dreams, bitch, and kind of walks away. I love when Lara Jean's in the library and she sees someone watching the hot tub video to the tune of The Little Mermaid. She goes up behind them, what do you think you're doing? And they're like, watch it, put it on, watch it, go ahead, finish. Back to Margot. I love that moment they have together when they talk about the whole Josh incident. Brought me to tears. I just love seeing families get along together. Oh my god, one of my favorite parts of the book, Kitty's birthday. I when Peter was outside with flowers and he drove Kitty to school and was like, Kobe, don't be jealous. And she goes, I've never liked him more than I have in this moment right now. It was so sweet. Of course, in P.S. I Love You, we also had John Ambrose McLaren. Honestly, it's hard to say who I ship more because I love Peter. He's sweet. He tries. But John is everything that you could want in a boy. He's adorable and smart and he really pays attention. I have a huge crush on him myself. John Ambrose McLaren is perfection. That 40s party at the old people home when he came up in that convertible, he was all dressed in his army attire and she was all dressed in her 40s attire and they dance and he lifts her up at the end of the dance. When they went outside and Genevieve and Peter were there, and he cruised up in his car and opened the door. Lara Jean ran in and they kissed and it was beautiful. I was swooning all over the place. I love John Ambrose McLaren. I kind of was rooting for them, but like he said, it's not their time. Peter, I don't know what to think about Peter. I hated when he asked for that necklace back. I love that he gave it to her in the first place because I knew he had bought it at the end of last book. When he asked for it back, it hurt my heart. It's not an engagement ring. You can't just ask for it back. No. I think I would have been like, no, this is a present. This is a gift. I'm not giving you back anything. But then at the end, he gives it back to her. The part when Lara Jean's dad finds out about the video, he confronts Lara about it. They have this little heart-to-heart. She doesn't have a mom, but he's trying his best to be there for her. That part brought me to tears. Her dad is so sweet, and I love how hard he tries. He was so upset when he realized she hadn't felt comfortable coming to him. So like I said, we have John Ambrose McLaren in this book. She gets a letter back from him, which is so sweet. The letters, sold me on John as well. Finding out that he liked her before, and then he had asked her to the prom or to their formal by writing on the window. He is adorable. I knew immediately when Stormy said she had a grandson, I was like, that's the other guy that she sent the letter to. Faux show. And it was. And I was like, yeah. She tells Peter that she got a letter back and she's in the car with him and Peter just acts like he doesn't care. And Lara Jean's like, he has no reaction. Why doesn't he even care? Why isn't he jealous? It frustrated me so much that Lara Jean can never tell when someone's playing it cool. Just because someone doesn't have a reaction doesn't mean that they don't have feelings. They're playing it cool. Not everyone wears their emotions on their sleeve like you. She's so naive sometimes about that. It happened like 4 times. Why don't they have any reaction? I guess they don't care. When she pulled out the friendship bracelet and she looked at Genevieve and she's like, oh, no recognition there, her face is blank. Why is Genevieve gonna show recognition? She's like Captain Bitch of the universe. just people hide their feelings, Lara Jean. It's a thing. Like, it happened all the time with Peter. She's like, I guess Peter doesn't care. He's not making any faces. When has Peter been someone to outwardly be vulnerable about his feelings? Okay, back to the letter from John Ambrose McLaren. So she wants her letter back, and they've already exchanged like 3 letters by the time she gets the letter. This letter, I died for her when I was reading it. I couldn't even. It was the most embarrassing love letter I've ever read in my entire life. I haven't read that many. I can't imagine someone I like ever getting a letter like this. I can't imagine writing a letter like this, putting these thoughts out in the world where someone could possibly read them. I mean, it's really brave of her to even write these things down. Dear John Ambrose McLaren, I know the exact day it all started. Fall. 8th grade. We started to run back to the building and I couldn't run as fast as you. So you stopped and grabbed my bag too. It was even better than if you'd grabbed my hand. Your t-shirt was stuck to your back. It was right then. That's when I knew, all the way down to my soaking wet cans, I love you, John Ambrose McLaren. I really love you. And Lara lets out a scream when she gets to the end of the letter. I mean, it's adorable, but it is hilarious. I have never felt more secondhand embarrassment for a character than I did right then. You could tell he liked her from the letters, and he asked for her number, and I was like, oh, okay, we're stepping into dangerous territory, Lara Jean. I don't know what you're doing. I mean, there was a small part of me that was wondering if Peter was cheating on her with Genevieve, but he seemed so sincere that I believed him when he said that it was only friendship, it's only friendship. But I could see how that can wear on you as a girlfriend. It's definitely taxing just to you as a human to see your boyfriend keep running to his ex-girlfriend of years. It's hard to say who was right in that situation. It would have helped if he told Lara Jean every time he was going to go see her. If she didn't just show up and see them together. You know, he could be like, Genevieve's having a hard time. I have to go over and comfort her. I'm so sorry. He didn't communicate that he was going to see her every time he went to see her. And that's something that you have to do just to make Lara feel comfortable. It hurts to walk in and see your boyfriend hugging his ex-girlfriend, comforting her in that situation without knowing it. So the whole time capsule party was adorable, but it was just a recipe full relationship problems. And I decide to play assassin. You know, we do so many fun things in this book. My favorite has to be the 40s party though. That by far wins. Oh man, that scene at the end at her birthday. John shows up like Jacob on his motorcycle at the other school in New Moon. That snow globe was so sweet. And you could sympathize so much with how she feels about John. He does understand her. And that's a really nice quality to have in a friend, and especially have someone that you like. Peter tries really hard. He's flawed. We don't know John's flaws. We haven't spent enough time with John McLaren to see any flaws in him. So he's just this dream guy. He's just this dreamboat who pulls up in a Mustang and sweeps us off our feet. I hope they do get their time, honestly. I want her to be able to date him because he's so sweet. Oh my gosh, another part that brought me to tears. After the 40s party, when she goes to pick up Kitty at Miss Rothschild's house, and they have this girl talk moment, and it's really sweet. Miss Rothschild gives her some advice, and she thinks to herself, is this what it's like to have a mom? And the tears, it was so sad. Lara Jean and her baked goods. She is just a pastry wizard. It was just such a sweet book and so much fun, and I loved it. I'd love to hear your favorite part and which boy you prefer, because honestly, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm leaning toward John Ambrose McLaren. Is there gonna be a third book? I feel like she could pull a third book out of this. Please share your thoughts. I'm Christine. Thank you for watching. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm at XTINEMAY, and I'm also at XTINEMAY on Instagram, which is my favorite of the social networks nowadays. All my other links are in the doobly-doo. I'll talk to you next time. Bye! I was right in the middle of a good dream. And all at once I wake up and you keep knocking on my door. But stay inside and love you.